Okay, good morning. Today we're joined with Katie. Katie, thanks very much for your time today. You've recently relocated from the UK to the Sunshine Coast a few months ago now. How long have you been here?
5 months, I think.
Already? Wow.
5 months.
Flies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And what made you pick the Sunshine Coast? Had you been here before?
No, we had visited Perth before, and we did Perth, but I was aware that they didn't have really much of a need for nurses at the time.
Right.
So then looked for another alternative. After research, decided on the Sunshine Coast because they needed our occupations.
Right.
So,
okay.
Being healthcare and construction. So, yeah, that's really the reason that we came here, and probably the weather as well. It's Perth is quite hot and dry, whereas here it's probably a bit nicer weather-wise.
Yeah, I think it depends. Some people love the humidity, some people hate it. So it just depends what you're into. And as you said, you're a nurse here. How did you go about finding a job when you first got here?
In the UK, I actually had already set up with a nursing agency. So already knew that I had work when I got here. And I also applied for a job with a company here and had an interview not long after we landed. So already had some things in the pipeline. So it was not too bad. It's a bit more security knowing that you will have some work when you get here.
Yeah. Did you end up working for the people that you sort of lined up work with, or did you go elsewhere?
I worked for 3 weeks with the agency. And then started with Queensland Health.
Right, and how are you finding that?
Yeah, I mean, that initially wasn't the job that I had the interview for. I had an interview, but she couldn't start me for 12 weeks, but wanted me to work on the hospital ward there. But I wanted more security, so applied for Queensland Health. Had an interview and they wanted me to start sort of ASAP. So had to have about a week I think it took to do all the documentation, and then started the induction on the following Monday. Nice. So I do enjoy working with Queensland Health. I've done 3 weeks.
Sorry, Kate.
Is it similar?
Yeah.
No, it is different to the NHS. It's hard to describe how it's different. I would say it's definitely less stressful. They seem to help you to do more training here. You have dedicated time in your shift to do training, which is really, really good. Whereas with the NHS, the majority of the time you did it in your own time if you wanted to do sort of extra. And they do seem to be quite open for you to do other training. They give you professional development leave, which is quite nice. And the shifts are 8 hours instead of 12 and a half, which took a bit of getting used to. So we work more days, but shorter days.
Right.
But yeah, I think I do see my family more than I did probably in the UK before and after work. So that's quite nice. Just obviously trying to get used to working more days than I did in the UK. But yeah, healthcare wise, it's very, very good. Very good. The nursing to patient ratios are better. So you get to spend more time, a bit more time most of the time, not all of the time, with the patients, which is good. And medication names are different. So you have to learn all the different medication names. Over here, it's much more about brand names rather than the manufacturer name. So it's just learning all of those differences. And some procedures are done differently. But it's been okay. It's not been too bad to adjust.
And you've done a little stint in the private system as well when you first started, didn't you?
Yeah, I did 3 weeks. Nursing patient ratios are so much better. And yeah, I don't know why, but I definitely prefer government.
Right.
Maybe that's because I believe, coming from the UK, that healthcare is for everybody, not just for those that can pay for it.
Yes, yeah. So that's where you've came from, your background, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I know. I went through the public system, like the midwife system, to have my baby, and then I had to go back for an operation, and we went into private. Well, we went into public, but they said, "Have you got private healthcare?" Which we did, and then that was used to cover some of the costs. So we didn't pay anything out of our own pocket, but our private covered some of the operation. Like, I'm not really sure how it all worked, but we just handed over our healthcare card and said, "Yep, we've got private." So we weren't in a private hospital though.
Yeah, I mean, you can, if you go into the public system and you have private cover, you can use that to pay towards your care, which the money goes back to the public hospital, which is always good. I mean, I spoke to a patient the other day who was really, really chuffed with the facilities that we had at the hospital, and said that, you know, he was extremely happy, and didn't want to go to the private hospital, was quite happy where he was. So, I mean, as a nurse, the care that you give doesn't vary whether it's government or private. So, you know, you're there to do the best that you can for patients. And that's what you do regardless of where you work, whether it's government or private. So the nursing care, I don't think doesn't vary. It's probably just the food. The food, I think you have a bit more choice. But we have a lot of single rooms, so a lot of patients do have their own rooms still in public. But yeah, definitely, you know, the healthcare system is really, really good.
Yeah, I found it pretty good so far, the couple of times I've had to use it. And your husband, you said, is in construction. How's he finding things?
Yeah, no, he actually started work before I did. It was very strange actually how he got his job. I was a member on Facebook of a group for Sunshine Coast jobs, and popped a note on there to say that we'd arrived. This is what my partner did. Can anybody help? And yeah, his current boss messaged me and asked me to ring him. He went for a trial on a Friday and started on the Monday.
Oh, perfect.
And he's been there ever since. He does find it different again to the UK, the way that things are done in the building industry. He did most aspects of building on the site, but it's split here. So you have different trades coming in to do all the different jobs. But no, he did take a little while to settle in, because he didn't like the fact that he didn't feel like he knew what he was doing. But now, I mean, the last couple of months he's been supervising jobs, and yeah, so I think he's doing really, really well, and he's had a pay rise since, so yeah, that's always good. So yeah, he's okay, but the days are slightly longer here, which is different. Went to the Down Under show in Birmingham, and we were given the impression that the hours were slightly better work-life balance, but actually he works longer days here than he did in the UK. So yeah, he's a bit disgruntled by that, but you never know what the future holds really for that one. But yeah.
What hours is he working?
He generally has to be at his boss's yard at 6 and normally gets home by 5.
Oh right, yeah, that is a long day then.
Yeah, so in the UK he would generally leave by 7 and be 5. So yeah, it's a longer day here, and less breaks during the day as well, apparently. Okay. Only one break. So yeah, I guess it's just adjusting to the differences.
Yeah, so you've got shorter days and he's got longer days, so.
Yes, yeah, but yeah, shorter days, but I work more. Yeah, and he works longer days, but you just kind of got to go with it, haven't you?
Yeah. And how are the kids finding it? I know the school for your youngest was a high priority for you when we were house hunting.
Yeah, and that kind of I'm still sort of a bit unsure of that, but she likes the primary school, which is literally a 5-minute walk away. To start with, she didn't settle. She said she kept coming home and saying, I haven't learned anything new. And I think it was to do with the whole, in the UK, it was probably more regimental and more strict. I don't know. And then she comes here and it's quite casual and relaxed. And she found that quite difficult to start with. But then her teacher gave her harder maths work to do. She started to play violin. She's learning Japanese. So yeah, she seems a lot better. And we just had a school report, and yeah, she's done really, really well. But this week, I think again we've gone downhill a bit because all of her friends in the UK are finishing year 6 on Wednesday, and she'll be in year 6 here until December. So I think she's feeling that, but yeah, it was a bit, yeah. So hopefully it will settle back down again.
Yeah.
But I do think
she'll on social media and stuff to find out what they're up
to. Yeah, no, she does. She does video call her friends from the UK. Probably once a month now. It was every week when we first got here, but I think with the time difference and everything else, it has slowed down slightly. Secondary school, we couldn't decide whether to pop her into private school because it was hard to know whether that was financially viable to start with. So I applied for an excellence program at the secondary school. She had an audition and an interview, and she's been accepted into the local state school excellence program from January. Yeah, so I think I'm trying to see how it goes.
Yeah, oh, that's good, because you said she definitely needed, she wants to be challenged, doesn't she? So
yeah, she's a very academic child. She's very strange, bless her. She goes to school, doesn't like it if she's not learning. She doesn't like disruption. She likes to do well. So yeah, that was my concern. And in the UK, she had passed her 11 plus to get into a grammar school with a very good reputation. But the thing that I've noticed here is the subjects there would have been very sort of old fashioned. So you've got your Latin that you learn. To me, probably doesn't feel like that does a lot for your future nowadays. Whereas the state school here, she will continue with violin with the teacher that she already has, and she can do subjects like marine biology, a bit more interesting and up-to-date modern subjects. So yeah, so we're going to just see how it goes.
Yeah, okay, good to hear it. I'll be interested to see how she goes next year at the high school.
Yeah.
And what about your...
Although a lot of people say, oh, don't send her there, it's a terrible school, but actually their results are really good compared to even private schools. So I think it does depend on the child and whether they really want to learn or whether they want to be distracted. So we'll just see.
I think, yeah, and it can also sometimes depend on who you're at school with. So it can sometimes depend on the actual just cohort of other pupils as to how.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've had people who've had siblings at the same school, and one's left and the other one's loved it. You know, one of them's desperately trying to get out, and the other one's like, please don't move me. I love it here. So just different, different social groups. So it's hard to pick it. I think what you've done is really good. She's in an excellence program, which will definitely be her cup of tea from the sounds of things.
Yeah.
What about your eldest? How are they doing?
Yeah, she's been a bit more difficult, bless her. She is actually the most settled since we've been here. She hasn't been upset or had a wobble. We couldn't get her into university for July because we're waiting for her results from college in the UK, which we can't get until August. So we are going to apply again for uni in January. We've just got to wait for her qualifications to be assessed to know that she can get into university with those qualifications. But she has, we've got a bus stop up the road, so she catches the bus to the local shopping mall. She's got a job, which she's working 3 to 4 days a week. And she started her driving lessons about 4 weeks ago. So the plan is to get her driving lessons finished, test done before hopefully she starts uni in January. She did volunteer for a animal sanctuary for about 3 months. And yeah, so she learned, she's met people that way. She's met people at work. Probably the hardest thing for her was meeting new people, meeting new friends.
Yeah, because she's just that little bit older. She's not at the school, so it's harder to find us.
Yeah, she's 18. So when she goes to university here, she'll actually be 19. So she'll be quite old to go compared to Australian children to go to university, but it doesn't really matter. She would have started university in September in the UK. So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. And the cost of university here, and the course that she's looking at is the fees are a lot more reasonable here as well, because it's a Commonwealth supported course.
Right.
So yeah, and we have to pay it as she goes because we're residents and not citizens, which is fine. But then she'll come out with a degree with no debt, and compared to the UK, she would have had, £26,000, £27,000 worth of debt when she got out of university in the UK.
Right. Well, that's good then. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, definitely.
And how are you finding your rental? You had a very interesting experience with your rental agent that got sacked shortly after arrival.
Yeah.
How are things going now? Have they settled down a little bit?
Yeah, they've settled down. Some of the repairs have been done that we needed to be done. I think one thing that you have to learn when you come to Australia is nothing happens as quick here as it does in the UK. So your expectations need to change. So say like we had a mold patch in our walk-in wardrobe, that took about 4 months to fix, whereas possibly in the UK it would have been done a lot quicker. So yeah, you just have to relax about things here, I think. Probably wasn't the best experience we could have had to start with getting a property. I think we had probably every issue possible that you could have had. But yeah, no, it's a lot better now. Definitely.
Yeah, I think you definitely got the most interesting one I've ever came across. I've never, rental agents tend not to get sacked. So yeah, to have yours switch over to a new company said a lot about the existing ones that you started off with, and they then lost your bond for a little while, but luckily that has shown back up now, thank goodness. That was a bit stressful.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I didn't really want to be going to court within the first 6 months of arriving here to try and get a bond back.
No, that definitely wouldn't have been good fun for anybody. I'm glad it's sort of settling down now and things are getting looked after for you. If you had to do it all over again, what do you think? Would you do anything different at all, or would you change anything?
I think it's hard when you come here from the UK. From the research done, I had certain expectations, and yeah, those expectations were slightly different. I think some of that is down to the fact that we came during a pandemic. So the rental market here is very strong. So we're paying more for our rent than research had suggested, or and they say that if you don't do what they call a bond clean, then you will get charged for it. But when we moved into this house, I can assure that there was no bond clean in this house. So yeah, it's difficult, really, really difficult. I definitely think we were really, really lucky in the fact that we got a rental in the first place. And I think that's obviously because we used you to get, I can't imagine what I would have done sat in quarantine, trying to find a rental, constant issues, trying to get one when you're coming from the UK, you haven't got a full, a contract job. we just wouldn't have got one. We wouldn't have got one without your help. And to know that we were coming out of quarantine with a rental was really, really good. And we had fun between quarantine and when we moved in, which was also good. Yeah, you can get lots of furniture here as well, really reasonably priced, secondhand. So we literally set up with the basic essentials within that weekend. Yeah. The essentials that we needed. I don't know, just you have to come with an open mind. That's all I can say, especially during a pandemic, because even car prices were a lot more expensive.
What were sorry?
Car prices, the prices of cars. Yeah. Because a lot of people weren't buying new, so those that were being secondhand attracted a premium because of the pandemic. So yeah, it's just the times that we're in at the moment, but hopefully that will settle down for future people coming. But yeah, to definitely use an agent. I would never have done it on my own. I'd never want to do it on my own. And the knowledge that you had, and even after getting the rental, the problems that we had with the problems with the house and the bond, I don't know, or even the wasps that we had when we first moved in, and I'm sending you pictures asking what they are. Do I need to worry about them? That, even just setting up electric, internet, just coming, yeah, and just having no idea where to look for anything. It's great. It was great to have you there to sort of point me in the right direction so that I knew where to go, and even car insurance. Because
I don't know, it does sound like we've done a terrible job of finding you a rental, because we found you one with wasps and damp and the worst in the world, but it didn't look that bad when we were trying to see it, but no, not at all. I think they had masked it pretty well, to be fair. I think so.
But I think a lot of the problems that we had weren't apparent when we moved in, but apparent sort of later. So yeah, just no, not at all. Not at all. I think it was just that the agency had not been sort of looked very close with the owner about things that were there, and the previous tenants hadn't reported any issues that they had. So yeah, that's all it was really. It's not a bad property by any means. It's in a great location, walk to school, walk to the bus stop, so great for the kids. And yeah, nice out. Sorry?
Been a bit chilly to get in your pool though.
Oh my goodness, yeah, 16 degrees it was the other day. Megan kept trying, and she doesn't she's not bothered by cold very often. In the UK, she'd probably wear a coat or tights or anything like that. But yeah, she tried, I think in end of June to get in, and it was, bless her, I think even she struggled to get in.
Yeah, it's breezy. Even if it's a heated pool, it's still getting out that's the problem, because then you've got to get out and the air's cold. So
yeah, I took her to the public pool. They call them aquatic centres out here. We went there and we had a swim there, so that was nice. And that was heated to 28 degrees, so that was good.
That the one in Maroochydore?
Yeah, Cotton Tree, yeah.
Yeah, I love that one. That's a really nice one.
Yeah.
I love the swimming outdoors, like going to a public pool and still being outside. I love that feeling.
Yeah.
Really nice. Yeah. You did arrive at a crazy time, and you picked one of the most popular destinations in Australia at the moment. I think Sunshine Coast is definitely up there, and people have been offering crazy prices. Like, we would never have said offer more than asking, or offer money up front, but it's just been wild. So the last few months, 6 months maybe, it's been crazy. Hopefully it'll start to calm down soon.
And there are a lot of people that don't actually currently have anywhere to live. Some are going to the extreme where they're living in, some are renting like holiday apartments for a longer term. So yeah, we were quite lucky that we got one. So yeah, even that positivity stays with us. We had somewhere to live, which is the most important thing at the end of the day. So yeah, we've got somewhere to live. We're starting to settle, so it's all good in that respect. But yeah, it's hard. I mean, we talk about how the pandemic has affected when we came over, how it's probably cost us a lot more to get here and to be here than it would have done previously. But you know, who's to say that in a year or two's time it wouldn't just be the same anyway? That's the thing, you just don't know. And you know, when you've waited for your visa, you just want to get here and you just want to start living the life that, you know, you had in your head, I guess.
Yes. So no regrets at this point?
No, we've had our ups and downs. It's not been easy, but I don't think it is easy for me. You've left not necessarily the country, but all your family and friends. So yeah, in COVID times as well, because the year before we left, we couldn't really see anybody that much. So yeah, I think in a way that probably made it a little bit easier, because we got used to being more of just a unit of 4 rather than seeing people regularly. But yeah, no, we still regret the fact that we've come here. We do miss family and friends, definitely.
Yeah. Thank goodness for the internet. It's definitely helps. Yeah. But I'm hoping we'll all get to go on holiday to each other's countries.
Yeah, I would just like family to come and visit. That would be quite nice. I don't need to leave Australia at any point soon. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. Oh, thank you very much for your time this morning. I really appreciate you coming to talk to us. I might want to check back in with you in a year or something and see how everybody's getting on again. But I really appreciate it. I think a lot of people back home would love to see this and hear about your journey so far. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, no, you're more than welcome.